meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome. We have the agenda before us. Are there any additions, corrections, deletions?
Yes, Mr. President, under new business, I'd like to add Mr. Giltz. And then under unfinished business, a yard waste update. Yard waste update.
That's on unfinished business.
Yes.
Anything else? Scott, anything? Al, anything?
No, thank you.
Okay, the agenda will be as edited. So the first thing that we have is unfinished business.
Thank you. Item number 1, I will defer to our Parks Director.
Thank you. Item number 1 is simply a resolution by the Clinton Township Board of Trustees to amend the attached parks policies and procedures as a means of housing.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, discussion. We are just changing and clarifying.
Solicitation.
Anything else? Roll call.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
And then item number 2, I'd like to turn over to Eric Haynes. He has some pictures of the progress of our yard waste that I think he'll be happy to see. Eric, thank you.
Okay, so this is where we were at 2 weeks ago with the east side of the yard waste. The cut was made on, I believe it was Monday or Tuesday. They added a drain, a catch basin down in the bottom corner near the grass there. Obviously they got the swath cut and a couple different angles on that. You can see obviously they put the mesh down to help support it. There's one from the back. And here it is with the 302, right, Joe?
301.
301. Lots of it.
It was a real soft, when we started digging, we had to go deeper than we thought, so we put fabric there, we bridged that, and we had to add a lot more stone than we originally anticipated.
And you also see then, up there's the base coat of the asphalt that was laid yesterday.
Nice job.
You'll see there at the front, the gate's been cut out, the posts have been set, and then the pedestals have been set for both the LiftMaster controller and the arm gates on, the arm towers on both east and west gate. And then there's an overview.
Wow, that's a nice job.
Yeah, I want to say a huge thanks to Eric. He's overseen the project. And then to the road department, Joe and his crew obviously did, you know, the work back there, and it looks beautiful. So good teamwork, good collaboration.
And those guys have been working diligently
They've been
down there.
working in
And it looks,
What's it called, some kind of wire they gotta run across the asphalt tomorrow.
yeah, the loops.
Fence, so when you hit it, you know, it's like a traffic loop, so then we can finish asphalt after they put that in. So.
It looks really good.
Yeah, if weather holds, which I believe it's going to, we should have the top coat done tomorrow then.
How's the chief? You happy with that, chief?
Yeah, nice job.
And I just am proud of the work that our road department actually, you know, does in-house for us. To bid that out would have been, you know, so much more. So, Joe, tell those guys thank you.
Yeah, I will, yes, I'm proud of, they're doing a great job down there.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
that's it.
it's just, that opens up so many possibilities for everybody.
Well, it's gonna keep our guys' training safe, people coming in and out safe. It's,
Nice job.
yeah.
Okay. Good job, guys.
That's the end of unfinished business.
Okay, thank you. That takes us to new business.
Thank you. I'll turn that over to Mr. Ferrara to kind of key up the discussion for Mr. Giltz.
Mr. Giltz came tonight, he wanted to speak to the board about a cooperative, the township and Mr. Giltz with entertainment back here on the grassy area. I don't know what else I can say. Mr. Gills, come on up.
Sure.
This is pretty informal, so you can come up to the podium, you don't have to.
I'll be right here. I think I've met most of you.
Yes.
So I'm Grant Giltz. I'm with One Easton Company, and obviously we're the owners of the shopping center over there. And so how this all came to be is we've been wrestling what we want to do with the grassy area up here, the triangle grassy area, we call it. And we've kicked around ideas for apartments, we've kicked around ideas for this daycare facility, kicked around a lot of ideas, and nothing was really just stuck for us. And then Tom called, and I gotta give credit where credit is due, and Tom called and said, you know, just asked me how things are going in the shopping center, and he did a Columbo on me, and he said, just one more thing. He said, what do you guys plan on doing over here? And I said, we don't really know just yet. And he said, well, why don't you guys think about just doing an entertainment venue with a stage and maybe some music and things like that? And you know, it kind of was like a light bulb that went off and said, you know, that is a good idea. And then coincidentally, I had just gone to it's called the Doctoberfest in Jackson. The Royal Docks put it on. It was right in the middle of the parking lot of a shopping center. And I'm sitting there and I'm saying, this is what I want for Oakwood. And so I called my engineer up. I said, let's draw some drawings here. And so very preliminary, and this will just sort of start the discussion, I guess, as to, I don't think I have enough for all of you. So
Share.
Share.
Careful.
I've seen it. Yeah, okay. And so basically, all this layout is basically right behind us. What we're thinking about is maybe we put up a stage of some sort. And that'll allow for a band or some music to be played. Maybe we could add some restrooms, permanent restrooms that look nice, that are kind of harmonious. We're still mixed on it. But the whole thing is, we want something to continually be an activity out here. We're not in the business of marketing activities and things like that. That's not what we do. And so, I'm not saying we're looking for volunteers, but we're looking for maybe a partnership with Plain Township as to how we can brainstorm ideas. We had a great meeting with the Parks meeting, Mr. Steinberg, and he's saying there's limited resources that you could offer, but he said, hey, we'd be willing to do whatever we can within reason. And that's great. And so next year, we would like, our idea is to, how can we do this, have it put together for a summer rollout, summer fest, maybe we want to do an art festival. I was down at the Javasi event the other weekend, it was great.
Let them do the 720 market over here instead of congesting all our side streets to where
Right.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
we can
ask you
host a
about that.
720
our
market.
emergency vehicles can't even make it through these streets because of the improper communication by them to the township.
Yeah.
Do those, the farmers, is that the farmers market?
No, it's the 720 market.
That was over at Gervasi was the 720 market that rotates around, but the farmer's market, I mean,
Why not?
Is that once a month? Is it once a week?
No, it's weekly.
Yeah,
We
it's once a
get about 1,000 to 2,000 people that roll through there.
Huge.
It's one of the largest in the area. We've really grown.
We would love to host it out here. We'd love to be a part of that. You know, those are the things that we sort of feel that it could be a nice community area.
RPC in the mini master plan update has designated this area with the square as the center of the community. And what we need to do is make it the center of the community. And this is something, a collaboration that really could designate it as the center of the community. And although we say, you know, there's not a lot we can do, but there is as far as marketing and planning. Monetarily, no, but yes, can we market? Can we use our social media? Can we use all the platforms we have? Can we use our newsletter? Can we help to get these people here? Can we do it as a cooperation, just like we do with the Y or other programs, absolutely. That's our strength.
Is there anything we'd be able to work? I'm just trying to think out in Jackson with, I mean, what they've done with some of their different collaborations and so forth. Just where private enterprise and public, you know, government entities are butting up, is there anything we may be able to leverage? I mean, one, this could absolutely, first and foremost, we establish a
Entertainment,
a drinking like Kent has in downtown.
entertainment district.
In their arts district, it's an outdoor recreational drinking area, so that could allow, I mean, that would attract, because that was
That's
something.
gonna attract people anyway.
Honestly, that was something we had initially discussed with another plaza owner in the township where, you know, good traffic and so forth. That may be a component that we could.
Yeah, so if people come to a concert, they can purchase alcohol from any of the restaurants, or if
Right.
you have a truck out there, and be able to walk around the plaza, sit down, have a beverage outside.
I guess we'd have to figure out what type of timetable and what steps, because
For that
for
district,
for as old as that information is now, when I'm saying old, I think about
Yeah.
yeah.
2.5 years ago, we can go at that on our own. We don't need the partnership of the city because of our population and so forth. But I mean, if that's
I
something.
think summer's a feasible timeline.
I think that's something, that's one of those things where we can help initiate.
Okay.
whether it's-
Right?
I don't know if we've got to circulate a petition, we'll have to have our supervised law director provide us the right
Got it
guidance.
pulled up.
You would do it right now.
Right?
But, yeah, there's so many ideas with concerts in the park and an art fest, and even, you know, you could do like a kids' day where you,
Right.
one of those, you know, you have those inflatable movie theaters and play a movie, and, I mean, there's
I mean,
just,
how could it help
Movie
change,
night.
how could it
Movie
help
night.
change up the dynamics too of even, I know you guys have been real good supporters since getting, even that summer parking lot party, and I'll tell you what,
as a kickoff.
residents look forward to that, so, you know, it may not be something every week, but do we create something to, I mean, the combination of what's going
Yeah.
on and then the frequency, because,
Yeah.
okay, something every week, is that really what you're gonna want, or
But
do
we
you want
could
something
set a
twice
summer
month?
schedule, you know,
Right.
based on, hey, we can get this, as long as we have a schedule of events,
Mhm.
you know, it doesn't matter if it's once a week, every 2 weeks, on the third Tuesday, as long as we have that schedule.
And then looking at, and again, tying into the master plan, older population, you know, some of our seniors who tend to be more vocal, you know, is it, you know, working with Walsh and the John Trapani band,
John
you know, night out, here where, hey, bring a basket and your,
Basket wine night, you know,
Yep.
something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
you
there's
know.
so many ideas, yeah. Even like, you know, football games, when it's still nice like this, it'd be nice to do like Monday Night Football, or,
some
An
Maxwell
Ohio
Tigers
State
games
game.
over here.
but I think it'd be huge. Massillon does it in the summer, I think weekly, because it's been there for so long, and it's packed. I mean, it's packed when you see these kind of things.
And I know we, excuse me.
No, go ahead, it's all yours.
But, you know, we put this Hall of Fame party on now 3 years.
Yeah.
And so, we're putting it together, and we're barely putting it together. You know, that's not our bailiwick, and it could get better. You know, there's things that we think we're doing good, and then, you know, something else is falling apart or whatever, and so someone just needs to own that, you know, that event and run with it, and do it better and better each year. And so, that's the assistance. The tenants that want to participate, they're great. They are really, really great. They want to do whatever they can to help promote the shopping center for themselves.
Right.
So, it's just, you know, there's a couple restaurants floating that I'm trying to land them, and I think I want to, you know, I'm sort of sharing this information that, you know, we're in talks, and they're loving the idea, and they asked about that same liquor license that you just
Yep.
referenced. And I think you have to vote on it, I'm not really sure, but that would be, you know, right now, how we get away with it, we have to, you know, reach out to the liquor department, for
Right.
either Bistro or somebody else.
Sponsor.
Yeah, and it takes,
Proceeds have to go to a nonprofit.
yes,
Nonprofit.
yeah, and so there's
Nonprofit.
those steps, and we're always fearful that someone's gonna miss a step, and then the event's gonna happen, and
Yeah.
there's no license, and that has happened in some of our other shopping centers, so.
So, I mean, realistic, I mean, because to me, this is something of interest and I think well worth vetting and exploring, but I think there's, I mean, outside of just this very super high level brainstorming, I mean, is this something where we, I mean, Lisa, a member of the team, or, you know, works?
Oh, I think
with
so. I
Grant-
think-
with Grant?
Yeah, because if
Because, I
we
mean, it's
know,
not-
I mean, Eric and I will work through, and I don't know if you want to talk on that tonight, what needs to be done, but if we know it's going to be ready in summer, I mean, we can start banging out events. It's just like, when do you want to have it? What's the event? I think me, Rob, one of you guys, I think we'll be able to pull it together.
I mean, just prepared before the first, I was thinking of November.
I just said November, but the primary's early, so if we could get it on, then not, you know, after.
It's in March.
It's in March. If we can
December
get it on
17th, have to have it
Yeah.
for the primary, yeah. I mean, for the November,
for March.
for March,
Yeah.
okay, so maybe that's doable.
Do you know how many acres you have back
We should even know that.
I think it's 2.5, 3 acres, something like
there?
that. On the grassy part. Now
No, I
the-
mean total.
Oh, total? 16 comes to mind?
Close.
What's
it? 20.
20?
That's one of the.
You know, McDonald's, we own the McDonald's, actually it's a different name, but we're getting ready to, we're thinking about transferring it over. So that's, I think,
Another,
you know,
half,
3/4
yeah.
Yeah.
We'd be close.
Okay,
Close.
okay.
Could we count our property?
Well, that's what I'm gonna look at,
Okay.
see if we can include, it just says contiguous, 20 contiguous acres, so I assume that means.
Don't they touch the road department in the
Back
back?
to the road department.
They touch the road department in the
A
back.
couple acres down there.
And you're right, actually it does, it is
Yeah.
considered contiguous, and that's how they got away with it in the city of Canton.
Okay,
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
Okay.
we'll probably have it,
yeah.
all right,
We'll close now.
yeah.
yeah.
So,
So that's why I'm here,
Yeah.
just,
no, it's a great
you know,
idea.
just trying to continue the conversation, started with Tom, we met with Mr. Steinberg, Chuck was at the meeting as well, and so just wanted to get your guys' input
Mhm.
to allow the discussion you either close it down or allow it to continue on, and maybe we meet, create a little sub-meeting here,
Yeah.
and we
Sure.
can meet.
Yeah, because we've always wanted a pavilion
Yeah, we're not
somewhere
gonna
in Clay
close it down.
Township.
We're gonna,
Yeah.
this'll,
Good,
we got it started. We appreciate you coming tonight.
Yeah.
sure.
These guys were excited to bring that info back, so.
I mean, what I would,
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
no, go.
I just think we do so, like a planning meeting, you know, starting with how often, you know,
Yeah.
do we want to do it? Is the kickoff the Hall of Fame event? Well, that's in August, so
Yeah, that-
we'd want that before.
Yeah.
But some kind of big kickoff party, and then how often do we want to do it? Once a month, twice a month, and then we fill it in, you know, we get together, fill it in. What do you think of John Capani? What do you think of, you know, anything, the Glen Oak Marching Band, and, you
Right.
know, and anything. I mean, there could, a kids fest, an art fest, a wine and cheese at the park, you know, we could always do movies too, which would be good, so.
I know Jackson over the summer, I attended, a friend of mine was in the band, and what they did was they partnered with the Jackson Music Department, and they were out there, and so. it
They have
was-
that steel drum band, not saying it all has to be Glen Oak, but that
Yeah.
Jackson steel drum band would even be cool to bring over, because they go all over.
Hmm.
It's,
So-
yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I just think, you know, you hook up with Glen Oak, you hook up with this, you know, Downtown Symphony, and,
Yeah.
you know, those kind of.
And you have the Canton Youth Symphony, and then you have the, what is it, the Drifters, or, I mean, there's,
And we're in the mindset, you know, we want to keep it family oriented, so we wouldn't have the crazy metal bands or
No.
anything like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, just on a practical, you know, level,
Right.
we want to just keep it up and fun.
Correct.
So. but,
yeah, I think it'll be easy for us to fill.
Okay,
I mean, thanks for bringing this
Sure,
to you.
sure.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm not stroking egos or anything here, but I gotta tell you, as much as I go back into the plaza, it is nice to either catch you and your wife or your dad frequenting some of the restaurants back there, because, you know, just getting out and about some of the other plazas.
we're dressing up the landscaping, you know, every time we go there, there's always we need to do this, we need to do that.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes we go 2 steps forward, took a step back with the Chinese carryout guy, and we have one other tenant that's a problem with me, and so we're wrestling with that, and we're getting through those issues, and
Well, if there are issues that present a
Yeah.
clear issue within the township,
Yep.
bring them to us,
Yeah.
because we don't need to
yeah.
have that going on.
But, you know, we just signed a lease, we took a tenant out of Jackson Township, put them over here, they're taking 7,100 square feet, it's called Jason's Place. It's an adult daycare for special needs. Great people that run it, and they're gonna go to the right of the bistro, a few doors down from the bistro. So it's gonna chew up a big chunk there. I have a nutrition company that's very interested, and so it's like one of those smoothie shakes.
But see, even with, I've thought often with Anytime Fitness and Mercy there, you got the wellness people coming in, even if we did a day, and it doesn't have to be, I mean, that could be sooner, like a wellness type of
Yeah.
event for Plain Township, because you've got everybody there. Mercy would love to open their doors and go, we'll do this, this, and this on this day, you can
Right.
pay for this. Anytime Fitness, do tours, you got the
Yep.
smoothie place, it's so easy just to do a healthy Plain Township type of event too.
Exactly.
So that would be great to talk about too when we discuss the other issues.
Okay.
So what's the best way for scheduling something?
I think
mean,
if
do
you
guys
email
want-
me, you have my email.
Yep.
And then, you know,
About some dates
we'll,
or?
yeah, we'll start some high-level brainstorming and then pull
Okay.
in whoever we need to help
Perfect.
get it out.
Tom, thank you.
Yes,
you,
Tom,
sir.
You're the
thanks,
one that
Grant.
started it, and so
Yeah.
thanks everybody for allowing me to speak. And any questions, you guys all know how to get hold of me. so.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Thanks.
That's
Pretty exciting.
exciting.
Yeah, it is,
Yeah.
pretty exciting.
So that ends new business.
Okay, and that takes us to the fiscal officer's report. Mr. Wolf.
Thank you. Fiscal Officer number 1 is a request for resolution to authorize the payment of pending warrants in the amount of $114,244.28.
So moved.
Second, it's been moved and seconded. Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 2 is a request for resolution to authorize payment of regular payroll in an amount not to exceed $250,000.
So moved.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 3 is a request for resolution to authorize payment for the following medical claims.
So moved.
Second, it's been moved and seconded. Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 4 is the financial report for September. If anyone has any questions, I'll be available after the meeting. Fiscal Officer number 5 is a request for a resolution to authorize the following transfers.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 6 is a request for resolution to authorize a refund as follows for overpayment for EMS as requested by Ohio Billing.
I will move on. Fiscal officer number 6.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
That concludes Fiscal Officer report.
Thanks, Tom. That takes us to the administrator. Ms. Campbell.
Thank you. Item number 1 is the reason for the resolution of the transfers you just did is to authorize payment to Earth and Wood in the amount not to exceed $9,765.
So moved.
Second, it's been moved and seconded. Discussion,
Again, we're out of grant money, so that's why we transferred the $20,000. I know, I thought Maryland had left this on the agenda from the last time because the board just authorized $10,000, but they've been hauling away, so here's another $9,600.
Once we get to next
Yeah.
year, it's just our own
Yeah,
residents.
because we may be doing another transfer, so.
anything else? Roll call.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Item number 2 is a resolution to authorize payment to Desidara in the amount not to exceed $2,050.
So moved.
Second's been moved and seconded. Discussion, Roll call.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
And that's the end of the administrator report. Clarify.
Thank you. We knew that wasn't the end. That takes us to fire. Chief Shalhoub.
Thank you. Item number 1 is a resolution to amend Resolution 19-445 to add the brackets around I after 5705.19 in the revised code in our fire renewal certificate levy.
So moved.
Second's been moved and seconded. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Item number 2 is a resolution by the Plain Township Board of Trustees to extend an offer of employment to Stephen Fuchs for the position of full-time firefighter paramedic class 1 contingent upon completion of the Ohio Police and Fire physical exam and pre-employment drug screening.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Okay, item number 3 is a resolution by Plain Township Board of Trustees to authorize the purchase and payment of fire hose, miscellaneous adapters, and shipping from the Darley Company in the amount not to exceed $3,000 to be taken from Fund 10A08.
So moved.
Second's been moved and seconded. Discussion. Unlike the old days, fire hose has a shelf life.
Yeah, expiration
It
date.
used to be, as long as it passed hose test, you could keep it forever. Now, you,
So when it expires, what do they do?
10-year expiration, and so we've got our stretch on this a little bit, so.
Fire.
yeah.
Well, unfortunately, we had to sell it or whatever,
Yeah.
because it won't be rated, it'll pass, but they're saying for safety.
Yeah,
So.
college would cut it.
Wouldn't farmers want to buy that for area? Would that farmer use that kind of hose to carry out their crop?
We take it all for the road department.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fill up our
We-
vehicles, or
Yeah.
tanks and sweepers.
Yeah, because they don't put any pressure or anything
It's unfortunately, it's kind of one of those.
Auction those off or sell
on it.
them?
We do.
Yeah, we put it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, people do buy it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not worth a whole lot, but we do auction it off.
And that's
Yeah.
crazy for my father.
Anything else? Yeah, your water, you're going to get a lot of water. You know. Yeah.
Water bill.
Anything else? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
That concludes the fire department, thank you.
Thanks, Chief. That takes us to road. Mr. Iacino.
Mr. Chairman, only one item tonight is a resolution authorizing the purchase of snowplow cutting edges and snowplow hardware from Evans Supply.
I'll move on.
Exceeds $4,800.
Yeah, I'll move on road number 1.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion. Now you have to put this on.
I've been holding
Yeah.
this for over a month
Yeah.
because we had to get on the order list up there. And I knew you guys wouldn't want to hear it any earlier than this.
No.
Have to go back to the snow dance.
Pretty soon, Scott.
Hopefully we won't need them. Anything else? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. That takes us to zoning, Mr. Ferraro.
Thank you, sir. I counted up the acreage for all the property here. It looks like it's around 24. So if we added us with the shopping center, we've got around 24 acres.
Oh, wow. There you go.
If the council, right?
First item on the agenda, sir, is a resolution to declare item 1, item A, as a nuisance abatement payment.
So moved.
Second's been moved and seconded. Discussion. We only have one. That's a good sign.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Parks guys gotta be feeling.
Yeah.
the lead here.
To say the least.
Anything else? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes. Item number 2 is a resolution to authorize the purchase of a new copier from Graphic Enterprises not to exceed $5,000 from Fund 13A04.
So moved.
Second's been moved and seconded. Discussion. We use them a lot.
The copier that we currently have is a little over 7 years old, and we use it a lot. It's been going through a lot of repairs lately,
Yeah.
so we need to do something before we lose.
That's pretty good price.
Yeah, anything else? Roll call.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
That's it
And
for
that's
zoning.
all for zoning.
Thanks, that takes us to parks. Mr. Steinberg.
Thank you. One and only item is a resolution to authorize payment to the Pepsi Cola for beverages for the concession stand at Diamond, not to exceed $2,611.89 from Fund 14A05E.
So moved.
Second's been moved and seconded. Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
That concludes parks.
Thank you. Nothing from the law director, communications.
Yes, we have two items, well, a couple items under communication. The first one is Chief Schallenberger. I want to take this opportunity to thank you and your staff for working with us on our evacuation drill last Thursday. It is comforting to know that we can utilize the fire station to house our students during inclement weather in the event of a secondary evacuation. And that is from, who is that from, Chief?
That's Principal Battles, I guess.
Okay. Yep, and that was for, I couldn't read the handwriting, but
Mike.
for the evacuation drill they did with the high school.
It looks like Joe's handwriting.
No, that's
No, it's not
next.
crayon.
Yeah. It's
Not
throwing me
crayon.
off because it's not crayon.
Well, you'll be surprised to know that the second communication is to the staff at the Plain Township Fire Department, which is awesome. We want to take this time to thank you for helping us make our family fun day a great success. You're volunteering to come and set up an ambulance and fire truck for our families. Your presentation was much appreciated. Thank you for coming and for all that you do. And that was from the Northwest Church of Christ. And then item number 3, I haven't heard back from Stark Parks yet. I was hoping that I would, but they're planning on doing the grand opening of the trails. And I'll get that to you when I get a confirmed date from them. And that's the end of communication.
All right, that takes us to the portion of the meeting that if anyone in the audience chooses to address the board, they can do so at this time. Anybody? Seeing none, we have no concerns of trustees, so we have the approval of minutes for the September 24th, 2019 meeting.
I will so move.
I'll second. It's been moved and seconded. Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
We do have a need for an executive session. Be it hereby resolved by the Plain Township Board of Trustees, Stark County, Ohio, to adjourn to executive session at 6:33 p.m. For the regular meeting of October 8th, as authorized under the Ohio Revised Code 121.22G for the purpose of the consideration of 1C, dismissal of a public employee or official, and 1E, promotion or demotion of a public employee or official.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Everybody in my office.